Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise and get straight to the insights that matter. Today, we're plunging into something that feels, well, pretty significant. It's this quiet shift happening, right now across the North American workforce. And it seems pretty clear that artificial intelligence is really speeding this whole thing up.
Yeah, our focus for this deep dive is a brand new strategic announcement and white paper from EON-Reality. It's called From Obsolescence to Opportunity, Solving North America's Workforce Crisis with EON's AI-powered skills, jobs, income ecosystem. Quite a title. So our mission today is basically to understand how this organization, EON, plans to tackle what they're calling the white-collar collapse. They're talking about building this integrated system that goes way beyond just traditional training. I mean, let's unpack this. This idea of a white-collar collapse, it sounds pretty serious, maybe even a bit like a quiet storm brewing. What exactly is EON-Reality identifying as the core problem here?
Right. So, as the white paper lays it out, it's actually a profound crisis. We're seeing situations where even, highly educated graduates from top universities are struggling to find jobs. Generative AI, and that's the tech behind tools like ChatGPT, the kind that creates new content, automates complex thinking tasks. It's fundamentally reshaping the entire job market. What that means is traditional career paths are dissolving. We're seeing the return on investment for higher education really plummeting. And there's this disheartening disconnect where job training, even good training, doesn't reliably lead to actual income. And maybe most critically, layoffs right now are outpacing our collective efforts to reskill people. So this raises a really important question. What happens when AI doesn't just automate tasks, but automates entire careers?
Wow. And it's not just like a fringe concern, is it? The white paper mentions Goldman Sachs predicting, up to 300 million full-time jobs worldwide could be hit by AI by 2030. That's a staggering number. It really makes you stop and think, have you felt this shift? Or worried about it for your own career, maybe even for your kids' futures?
Exactly. And a key point from the source material is that most of the workforce solutions we have right now, they're fragmented, often passive, and frankly, they're just outdated. When you're facing this kind of huge transformative challenge, they were built for, a different time.
Okay, so given that, the pretty bleak assessment of the current situation, what's the answer EON-Reality is putting forward? How are they proposing to tackle this growing economic emergency? What's the core idea behind their approach?
So their answer is what they call an AI-powered skills, jobs, income ecosystem. It's designed as a closed-loop system. The key idea is to inherently link getting skills directly to getting a job, and crucially, to generating income. It's built on three interconnected engines, as they call them. First, there's EON-XR. This provides immersive AI-powered skills training. And when we say XR, we mean extended reality. That's sort of the umbrella term for VR and AR. Virtual and augmented reality. It allows for hands-on learning by doing in simulated environments. And the benefit there is faster, deeper learning because you're actively doing things, not just, reading or watching.
Okay, so immersive learning, that's the first part. What's next?
Then you've got Career Compass. Think of this as personalized, real-time job guidance. This engine helps people navigate towards careers that are actually in demand, using live labor market data. It's almost like a GPS for your professional life.
A GPS for your career, I like that. And the third engine?
That's WealthWeaver. This provides tools specifically for income generation, aimed at creators and entrepreneurs. It lets users launch their own ventures, monetize their knowledge, and maybe most interestingly, earn income while they're still learning.
Earn while you learn. Okay. So these three things together, immersive training, smart career guidance, and income generation tools, they're meant to be like an operating system for the workforce.
Yeah.
How does this really break from the traditional models we're used to? What's the big shift in this closed loop idea?
Yeah, that's really the core of it. What's fascinating here, I think, is how they've designed this unified closed-loop system. It's fundamentally different from the siloed approaches you usually see. They're really emphasizing a shift away from those legacy models that tend to prioritize, seat time and getting a certificate, basically just showing up and finishing. Their approach focuses instead on measurable transformation and real economic mobility. It's all about the outcome, the actual results, not just ticking boxes.
Right. To make that clear, maybe we can compare them side by side using some of the metrics from the white paper, like learning modality. Traditional is usually passive, right? Like reading text, watching videos. But EON uses those immersive, interactive XR modules you mentioned.
Exactly. Big difference in engagement.
And what about the employment timeline? How quickly someone gets a job?
Well, with traditional methods, you might be looking at 6 to 12 months after training, maybe longer if you get placed. EON is aiming for a much faster turnaround, like 30 to 90 days, because those personalized tracks are directly linking the skills to actual available jobs in real time.
30 to 90 days versus 6 to 12 months.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Okay, what about income generation?
Traditionally, income only comes after you land the job, and even that's not guaranteed. But with EON, through that WealthWeaver engine, they enable income generation during the training itself. That feels pretty disruptive.
Yeah, that really changes the dynamic. And lastly, program ROI, the return on investment. How do they compare there?
That's often really hard to measure accurately in traditional programs. Did the training actually lead to the job and a better salary? It's fuzzy. EON's system, though, is designed to track concrete things. Job placement rates, actual wage increases, even revenue from entrepreneurial stuff started through WealthWeaver makes the impact much, much clearer.
I see. So it's that integrated, results-first focus that really sets it apart.
Precisely. It's about building a system where learning, job placement, and earning are all tightly connected.
And the white paper mentions this strategy isn't just for individuals, right? It's designed to support a whole range of organizations.
That's right. It explicitly targets universities and colleges who want better outcomes for their grads, community colleges and trade schools needing quick-to-market programs, also local governments trying to fight unemployment, corporations needing to upskill or reskill their people for AI, and workforce boards trying to use state and federal funds effectively. It's quite broad.
Okay, so theory is one thing. But what does this actually look like in practice? You mentioned the white paper has some real-world examples, some case studies.
It does, yeah. And they're already reporting some pretty impressive early wins, as they call them, across North America. For instance, there's a multi-campus university that apparently boosted job placements by 22% in just 90 days after implementing the system.
22% in 90 days. That's fast.
It is. And there's a rural trade school that turned its XR labs into centers where students could actually run small businesses and generate income. Real entrepreneurial experience.
Oh, okay.
Then there's a logistics company that managed to cut employee attrition, people leaving, by 37%. They did that by reskilling workers for new roles enhanced by AI instead of just letting them go.
That's significant, saving jobs and adapting them.
Exactly. And one more, a youth initiative in the Caribbean reported a 34% average income increase for participants after they went through XR training.
Those numbers really do stand out. What does that tell us about focusing on results, like job placement and income, versus just, say, how many people completed a course?
Well, I think it strongly suggests that when you build the system around the outcome, actual job readiness, real income, measurable economic improvement, rather than just the process of training, you get much more impactful results. It really seems to highlight the power of tightly connecting learning with earning potential from the get-go.
Right. So just to kind of wrap up the core message from our deep dive today, EON Reality's strategic roadmap seems to be putting forward a really proactive, integrated response to this workforce crisis in North America. It's moving beyond just training to actually encompass job placement and real income generation using these immersive AI-powered tools.
Yeah, and maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to connect this to the bigger picture. How might these kinds of integrated learning and earning ecosystems fundamentally reshape our whole concept of career development, especially in a future likely dominated by AI? And maybe more personally, what does that imply for how you might need to approach your own skill building and continuous learning going forward?
Definitely something to ponder as you navigate your own professional journey. If this sparked your interest, we'd highly recommend checking out the full white paper, From Obsolescence to Opportunity. It could be a great starting point for your own exploration. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.